terrorist talking in my head. Um, they have little phrases that they say repetitively, which I feel are commands to the weapon that they're using to talk into my head. Not saying that they were permitted to talk into my head, saying that it's a feature to the weapon that they're using. Um, and basically, uh, if ever, in like, it's science and it's inevitable and all these things, so that to make it clear that the people that discovered this these weapons and integrated them together weren't they weren't being malicious. On the contrary, they were trying to they were trying to they were trying to create security measures to protect the victims of anyone that was called, or people that were named suspects that are actually victims, to anyone who's made claims up against innocent people to launder money behind the weapon. And so it's voice activated, and basically they have like different tones that they use when they're communicating or saying something in my head, or different laughs, or they'll fart, or they'll burp, or they'll do disgusting things in my head. And it's to give the weapon cues as how to manipulate my brain activity. Like, for example, if they say, okay, bitch, it indicates to the weapon, hey, block all her receptors, like everything aside from her fight and flight responses. But no crying, nothing that makes her look like a victim. And I've noticed that when they use certain tones, when they use certain phrases like okay bitch, that's one of the phrases they say repetitively. I can't process the way I would. Like, this is something that would make me cry. I'm being murdered. I'm scared. But instead, they don't want me to have this fear that comes over you, like when you're in an extreme panic and freaking the fuck out. So the terrorists try to like swarm you with all this information and swarm you with everything to disguise that they're manipulating your brain activity. But it's all a form of manipulation regardless. They're talking in your head. Every word they say is manipulation of the records, manipulation of my brain activity. It's attempting to traffic or frame people, innocent people, for what I'm hearing in my head. Because the reason they're permitted to use it is to say that there's something to investigate. So obviously, if there's nothing to investigate, there's no longer any need to use the weapon. So to maintain this narrative, they are the ones that are they're talking in my head to manipulate the records, and apparently the weapon can't distinguish if the voices I hear are coming from outside or inside my head. And furthermore, if it can't dictate that I'm being attacked by the weapon, by someone else that also has possession or the ability to use the weapon, then then it would just identify it as an external source and assume it's just like verbal attacks. And that anything that happens to me is like just a normal bodily function or bodily response to what I'm hearing. Like the dizziness from the screaming in my head. But all of that is actually them attacking my head. It's the way they give cues to the weapon to make me dizzy, to make me this, to make me that, and it projects it into my mind. And like I said, the terrorists want to say it was an external voices. If they were internal, right? If they were actually full, like, and how do I explain this? If they were, which they are, they're internal in my head, then the terrorists talking in my head cannot no longer, they can just go prove that they're not the ones projecting voices in my head. They can just go right to whoever it is and prove that I'm hearing voices in my head. I may have discovered something. And say, hey, this is not like the voices Renee's hearing isn't us. And you know, she needs institutionalizing, and then that's it, because that's as ethical as they can be with, if I were to have a mental condition, to keep everyone safe and myself. But the terrorists talking in my head are obviously, they don't want to say that because they're the ones talking in my head, and with the intention of murdering me. It's not like, because let's say the terrorist talking in my head. So here's the situation. So I'm assuming that the terrorist talking in my head, when someone is claimed schizophrenic, because I see these schizophrenics and they're so comfortably explaining that they're schizophrenic, right? So maybe the one investigating them does willingly go and explain that there are voices projected, it's not them. And continuously, other group of terrorists continue to attack that person. Maybe those terrorists don't have an interest in her records, but they have some kind of an agreement, a financial agreement, which I'm sure they would have to have something on these bitches, where it's like, if you don't come forward with the money, we'll just turn you in, basically. And they have to all abide by these rules. And it's like continuous attacks, but the attacks are they're short and not long enough to be registered. I feel like that's a lot closer than I was to how they manipulate these records and how some people are schizophrenic and they stop hearing voices and some don't and some do. Anyways, they're manipulating my brain activity. That's the bottom line. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. I want them sentenced to death. I hear voices in my head. I'm schizophrenic. I'm at Target. The terrorists talking in my head want me uncomfortable. So they have men writing like weird comments on my page. They're terrorists talking in my head. They don't feel uncomfortable to traffic people to make comments because if they can manage to get all me under control, then they basically everything they've done gets destroyed. So it doesn't matter. So it matters to me though that like they're not manipulating me. I want them sentenced to death. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're talking in my head. No, they're not around me. And the ones that are not the terrorists talking in my head. And if I ever did suspect that they were, I would definitely call the cops. I mean, I guess I could have. Because I did run into people that are Egyptian American Muslims. But at this point, it would be considered a medical, I don't know. But why would I want that? Because then the terrorist talking in my head could further investigate. No, it's better that it's not. Thank you. Subscribe now. This is the day in the life of what it's like to be schizophrenic. They're making me so tired I can't clean my house. And it's not even all that dirty. They want it to get to that point. They're disgusting trash, or they want me spending my money on someone cleaning what I could do on my own. They're forcing the words "you fucking whore" out of my mouth. Oh, yeah. Hi, I just came in with this and someone forgot to take it off. I don't know if I have my card and you can pull it up that way.
You just buy it at self-checkout.
I bought it at a different Target. Here. Let's see if this is the receipt for it. I'm just too tired for this right now. Here. I hope this is it. No, I don't think it is. It's not. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. You're so gorgeous. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stare. Medium. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists trying to make me scream. They're talking in my head. They're talking in my head. They think it's a game. They think murdering is a game. It's a game. All they gotta do is get away with it. They're fucking sick in the fucking head. brain keeps saying you're old and ugly. They're talking in my head. I'm helping you clear her record. I'm helping the terrorist men talking in my head clear their terrorist women, wives, sisters, daughters. Okay. Make sure that the record is clear that they're terrorists. So they can get sentenced to death. Before I die. Haha. That's a promise. I really want. Okay. Okay. That. انت حمار. Me? There's a song, and it's the song, I don't know who it's by, one of the older like Temptation groups or something like that. And they go, never, ever, 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 ever. Will I let you go before I go? Ever. Well, anyways, that's how I heard it because of the terrorist talking in my head. And really, that's how I interpret it. Where did I park my car? I'm always dizzy. The terrorists talking in my head have me dizzy literally every second of the freaking day. I want them sentenced to death. This is murder. This is murder. They're trying to get me to commit suicide. Do you hear me? They're Egyptian American Muslim women. Well, it's not like you're flooding my... Aren't you flooding? Alright. Nicki Minaj, billion likes. Nothing less, do you understand me? So you can impress me. I said impress me, not talk a lot. Make it obvious. A billion likes, okay. On one live stream. Come on, most motherfucker. Impress me. It's starting to sound more and more like a compliment. Fuck. Every 5 years. Okay. The terrorists talking in my head had me so in a daze that I didn't notice I was going 63 on a 45. A cop just drove right past me and was driving at an even faster speed than I was. And thank God, there are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists screaming in my head right now. I want them sentenced to fucking death. Do you hear me? They're taking control of my head. I can't focus. The terrorists are talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. I almost couldn't concentrate on the road. There's a stop sign right here. I had to slam on my brakes. They're talking in my head. They keep calling me a stupid bitch because protecting myself, it entails sentencing them to death. And how is that my fucking problem? They're psycho trash. These are psychopaths. They need to be sentenced to death. Do you hear me? They're hurting me. 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 My head. My head. The head feels like someone's controlling my head. They're psycho. It's the way that's another thing they say. They'll say, never fucking mind, never mind. And it plays with my brain activity. These are cues they give the weapons as to how to attack me. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They keep calling me a loser. That's another thing. That's another phrase they say repetitively. I'm dizzy. I'm dizzy. They're making me dizzy while I'm in the middle of a parking lot. My head is, they're playing with the pressure in my head. They're playing with the pressure in my head. They're playing with the pressure in my head. They're playing with the pressure in my head and taking control of my vehicle so I feel like I'm on a rocking boat and I have seasickness. The way they're laughing, it cues the weapon as to what receptors and what synapses to oppress in my head so that they could get me in this fight or flight response. So that the only areas of my brain that can respond are the areas responsible for my fight or flight. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. I can't run, I can't hide, I can't fight. They're talking in my head. I am completely and utterly vulnerable, and I am a victim. Now and that's another thing they do. They make these spitting sounds.
Hi, welcome to Del Taco. Can I get fresh for you?
Can I get your big fat taco?
Yeah, which one are we thinking?
Let's do the beef.
Yeah, big fat tacos. Is there anything else I can get for you?
No, that's. Well, actually, let's do bean and cheese burrito.
Sure. Is that red or green sauce?
Red sauce.
All red. Okay. Is that gonna wrap it up for us today?
I'm thinking whether or not I want the taco. I'm sorry.
You're okay. No rush.
Actually, can we scratch the taco and make it a tostada?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay. And is that gonna do it for us?
Yeah,
Back cakes, $4.93.
thank you.
Yeah, of course.
They're making me dizzy. So they're pulling on my eyeballs and they're making them roll back. Thank you, Kev. Oh my gosh. I don't feel good. There are voices in my head. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head.
Women are jurisdiction on the second class.
Why did you say you're having sex with your terrorist partner's sister? And not like just any woman that you want to.